Hey, thank you for joining me for the Lead with Love podcast. I am your host, Delnita Smith, and I am so glad to be here with you tonight. This series is all about covenant and connection, which is our third annual Lead with Love couples retreat that's coming up this July 18th and 19th. We do hope that you will join us. We're going to have an amazing time, some great speakers, amazing workshops. So be sure to join us. We have Doctors Daryl and Piangela Jones, who will be our keynote speakers for the formal gala for the retreat. We have Tina and Marcus Wilson, who will be talking about covenant and connection. And we have the amazing Terry and Carrie Bargy, who will be getting us fit and talking about body health and how that impacts our marriages. We also have Miss Crystal Martin, who is our financial life coach, and she'll be getting us straight financially. And we have Miss Sabona Kendrick, who is our licensed massage therapist. So she will be walking us through a guided couples massage and just talking to us about how to care for one another. So it's going to be a beautiful thing. And we have Mr. Will Davenport, who will be the entertainment for our formal gala on that Saturday night of the retreat. So again, that is the Lead with Love Couples Retreat themed Covenant and Connection that's happening July 18th and 19th of this year here in Nashville, Tennessee. So we can't wait to see you there. It's going to be an amazing time. And so today we have a couple who were two of our speakers for our retreat on last year, Love Season. And so we are so excited to have them here with us tonight. I would like to welcome to the stage Mr. and Mrs. Knowles, Demetrius and Denise Knowles. Welcome to the stage. Hey, guys, thank you for being here.
Thank you for
Thank you for
inviting us.
being here. I truly appreciate it. And as I was sharing, you guys joined us last year for our couples retreat, which was themed Love Season. And so it was just great to have you guys there. So let's start with just tell us a little bit about yourselves.
I am Denise Knowles, mother, wife, basketball coach, life coach, relationship specialist, author.
Okay.
But really, I'm just Denise.
Awesome.
I'm Niecy for some people, Denise for other people. I am who I am created to be, and that's just me. And I'm honored to be this guy's wife.
Awesome.
I'm Demetrius Knowles. Let's see, born in Chicago, raised up in Memphis. Like I said, I'm oldest brother of 11.
Okay.
I'm a loving father, husband.
This is like pulling teeth for him. I love it. Delnita. Thank you. Thank you.
That's great. Well, I thank you for being on here with us, D, and sharing. Well, I should say Demetrius because we're all D. So thank you guys for being here with us. So let's start with that powerful statement. When we got married, we meant it. What did marriage mean to you back then, and how has that meaning deepened over the years?
Like I said, for me, I've been married before, and it wasn't a real healthy marriage. But after D and I met, he made it clear that when I get married, that's it. You know, he just spoke on one and done for him.
Yeah.
I'm glad it wasn't one and done for me because I now have him. But I meant it. I was prepared. I knew what a bad marriage felt like. But I decided going into it because I had 3 children. I had my mom, other entities that would try to interject in what they think. But I just made the decision on June the 3rd, 2006, nothing or no one can come between this. And it's a decision that honestly was natural from God, you know.
Right.
But and we have disagreements, this, that, and the third, but no one can come between this. And that's just the way I felt about it. Or
That's,
feel about it.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. So did you want to share anything, D, on that?
Well,
Or your ditto?
gotta just a little bit. Well, yeah, like I said, it's just about being committed, and like you said, having that trust. Because if you don't have the trust, then it's kind of like a null and void situation. Because why do it if I can't trust it and believe that it can grow, be stronger through the ups and downs? So it's basically, I just endured it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a great thing. So you said you never stopped dating. Even after the wedding, the bills, the children, what does intentional dating look like after 19 years?
He says that that's what I claim, but it is wholehearted. Like our children
Mm-hmm.
refer to us on Friday as boyfriend and girlfriend. Our baby boy DJ, he'll be like, I'm gonna need you to control your boyfriend. My 7-year-old, oh, where your boyfriend at? Or where your girlfriend? You know, just
I love it.
so I think because when we met in the arena of roller skating, that even our roller skating family helped us to keep that going, because the skate parties would be on the weekend and we would go, and people would say, they would ask him, where's your wife at? He'd be like, I ain't come down here with my wife, I'm down here with my girlfriend. And so they be running. Do you know what he said? I asked him where his wife was, and he said he's with his girlfriend. I said, I hope so. I said, because I don't hang out with my husband on the weekend either. So, I mean, but I will have to be honest. There are some people that feel like that's offensive, or it's defying the sanctity of marriage under God.
Hmm.
And I just no, that just, to me, even though we have expanded through years, I know that he still loves me like it was fresh and new 21 years ago when we started. And so I just think people have to make things more complicated than God created it to be.
Yeah. And I think sometimes it just depends on what it is. People just might need to mind their business because I mean, you have to be, there's a thing called intentionality in relationships. Like you have to be intentional about keeping that love connection going and that joy and that happiness and being glad to see each other, being glad that he's coming home from work, or being excited that you still have a date night. You know what I mean? That you do consistently and you want to spend that time together. So we can't worry about they or people. Just be you. Be you. So
You can't be anybody else.
hey, listen, it does not work. It does not work. So, Dr. Denise, having been married before, what parts of that experience helped shape the blueprint for a successful marriage the second time around?
The toxic behavior. But toxic behavior in relationships was a normal thing for me. Coming from my parents, who they just couldn't meet in the middle. What they did agree on is that they both loved me and my brothers,
Mhm.
but we were also put in the middle of the fights.
Yeah.
And so for a long time, even before I married my ex-husband, it was something in me that would pull me into those places. I wasn't intentionally aware of it, but when I look back, because it was the same kind of cycle.
Yeah.
Different guy, same kind of crap. And what I will say is, before I met D, I had to be down in the valley. I had to be in the trenches. And I had to release and I had to forgive everybody that I felt like abandoned me and hurt me. And I had to forgive me
Mm-hmm.
for making the choices because everything is a choice. Yeah, my ex-husband might have bothered me in some way or disrespect, but guess what? I chose to stay in it. So I feel like I was even more wrong, because if you lay down, nobody gonna tell you get up if they want to walk up and down your back, but you laying there. So it really, really, really just helped me to appreciate him. Even if I'm upset with him, being upset, he let me cool off for a few days, but if I don't communicate with him, I miss him. Like we be around here and I'm walking with my attitude, I be hearing in my head, girl, quit tripping. Just
Right.
hug it, man, because he's gonna hug me. He's gonna hug
Mhm.
me, he's gonna kiss me, he gonna say what you want to eat. All he gonna keep going. And
Right.
and then I hear it in my head, girl, you stop tripping. If I don't hear it in my head, if I tell my specific girlfriend, she'd be like, girl, you need to be choked. And then my daddy definitely is not going for me fussing at his son-in-law. So
Right. Right. That's funny. That's funny. It's a blessing just to know his heart for you, though.
mhm.
Yeah. So that 50-50 talk, y'all threw that out the window. Can you unpack that mindset for other couples?
So, let's see. We'll use money for a term. Say she her job, she make more money than me. So that means she's gonna bring more to the table. But
Financially.
financially. But you can't expect me to bring what you bring to the table if I'm not financially, what I'm saying? My job is not financially like yours. So you got some people that feel like you got to match what I match. You got to put in what I put in. If you can't do that, then we don't need to be together. She might not have, like I said, she might not have but 10. She might have 10%. Hey, but it don't matter. It shouldn't matter. You know what I'm saying? I should be able to have that 90. And then if it come around and I got that 10 and she got that 90, then we should have each other back. You know what I'm saying? This should be
Right.
a couple thing, a us thing, a we thing, not a me thing, a you thing, a I. So it's
Or they did it.
yeah. So it's like you can't, and then you can't compare what other people have done or went through what you have going on too.
That's right. That's
Everybody's
right.
different. Everybody
So from
operate. You know what I'm saying? So a 50-50, you that's gonna cause a habit because you want me to, you know what I'm saying? Well, you got an attitude because I ain't got my 50. Or I can't, you know what I'm saying, partake what you want me to. So that's what I say about the 50-50 thing. That'll cause a real rip in a whole bunch of relationships.
So Denise, how would you speak to that mindset from an emotional perspective? How would you share with couples, you know, the 50-50 mindset of marriage, every day? How is marriage supposed to be equal every day from an emotional standpoint or from a standpoint of supporting one another? What would you say to the 50-50 mindset?
So in my opinion, there's no divided department in marriage or commitment. There's
Mm-hmm.
there's no this the finance department, this the emotional distress department, this is the depression department, this is the love. What I think people really need to look up, because when they're talking about 50-50, it's mostly specifically about finances. But the way I feel about it is if you have only 10% of your energy to give that day, you give 100% of that 10%. If if your body is not well, you can't give 100%, but whatever you have, your heart, whatever you have to give in that moment, you give 100% of it. Because if I don't know anything else, this guy has my back. He's been with me, and this was when we first started dating.
Mm-hmm.
I was diagnosed with renal kidney failure.
Wow.
Brand new relationship, woman with 3 kids, and health issues. Oh no,
Right.
that's what was playing in my head. Well,
Yeah.
I got diagnosed with kidney disease. The thought of it literally made me sick because I was thinking, who's gonna provide for my kids? Who's gonna? Cause I'm thinking I'm dying in the next couple of weeks. Is what? Cause I heard failure,
Right.
and I called him, and I was distraught, and he came that weekend to take care of me and my children,
Wow.
and I was feeling bad, but I made myself sick. I made myself sick because all I kept replaying in my head was failure, death, failure. Where are
Wow.
my kids gonna go? Failure. I just met this man and he's amazing. You know, all of that was going on, and he never took a second thought. He had all right to be like, ooh, this is a lot. And I couldn't even be mad. But he never missed a beat, never took a step back.
Yeah.
And so that's I didn't have anything to give.
Yeah.
And I was not his wife. But he gave me everything that he had to give to cover me, my children, my home. He came from Memphis. He worked at Crystals like he was making $56,000 a year back then
Mm-hmm.
to provide and take care of us
Wow.
until and like I said, he started working in Metro Water Services a year after we got married. So he'd been there 18 years. It was 18 years in April, and today is our 19-year anniversary.
Wow. Happy anniversary. Wow. Anniversary edition. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you for spending your anniversary evening with me here. This is amazing.
It's an
It's
honor.
thank you. An honor for me too. What would you say to a couple who loves each other but feels stuck in routine, distance, discouragement? Like how would they find their way back to joy, commitment, and love and that fire?
Sometimes you just got to rebalance, recalibrate.
Mm-hmm.
And that might mean sacrificing a few dollars. Hey, we need some time. Let's go get us a nice hotel room, or let's go for a picnic in the park. You got to pluck yourself out of that everyday routine.
Yeah.
Uh, just changing the atmosphere. Sometimes just embracing one another. You really got to say nothing because that emotional energy is between you.
Yeah.
So sometimes there are times when I just feel like I have something on me and I have to cry. And he might ask me what's wrong, or he might not, but he'll hug me. And because he said things so many times in my head, baby, it's gonna be all right.
Right.
Even if he doesn't say anything, I hear that because I feel it.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we just got to take responsibility. It's not always the ways of the world that get us caught and stuck. We just become complacent in our regular routines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And so you don't want to fall into the position of roommates. So you have to be intentional about investing that time with one another.
Mhm.
And so, like I shared in the beginning, you guys were two of our speakers for the retreat last year. So, what was that experience like for you guys? And why would you say to other couples to come or to do something like a couples retreat, like Lead with Love?
I love the safety of vulnerability. I love the laughter,
Mm.
the tears, and the massage. If you don't come for nothing else, come for the massage. The massage. I still got to get in touch with her. But
She'll be back.
being vulnerable is not an easy task. But when you're connected to a space where you feel that safety, the safety enough to boldly laugh at yourself,
Yeah.
the safety enough to cry and release something because somebody else is sharing their experience and it touches you because you've been needing to know that you're not the only one that's felt that or is feeling that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that was the biggest overall thing because it happened on multiple times.
Right. Right. That's awesome.
That was for me. Now the guys, I believe they was cutting up.
Hey,
Yeah, they said their session was better than ours. So,
yeah,
we weren't in there, Denise, so we
well,
don't know. But that's what they said.
he was. And then too, like I said, you around other couples. You got different ages,
Mm-hmm.
age brackets. You know what I'm saying? So you hearing, and you was like, you get to hear what they experienced, what they went through, how they overcame it. And everybody got a chance to share it, and you learned. Everybody learned from everybody,
Yeah.
regardless of what age bracket you was in or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, and like I said, it was moments where we laughed about some stuff, and he's like, man, that was crazy,
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you said, it's reevaluating life in general, just not from your perspective or other, what I'm saying, what you got going on. You get to see what other people have, and you be like, man, I really thought I had it bad,
Mm-hmm.
and it's somebody that might have it worse, what I'm saying, or going through something more, more than you. So it's like everybody kind of came together, and you learned, what I'm saying, you took pieces from this person, that person, and it was able, to put it together and to get you over the hump and to get you to a longer marriage, what I'm saying, with
Mhm.
your spouse. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's so easy to feel like you're an island. Sometimes, like you said, you feel like you're the only one who may have gone through some challenges or had to learn from things, but just being in community like that is key. That is a major thing, is being able to fellowship and be with other couples who are like-minded in the sense that you want your marriage to not only survive, but to thrive. And you want to be a well person and a whole person in your marriage. And that takes work. It takes showing up, it takes showing up for yourself. And in showing up for yourself, then you can in turn show up for your spouse because you making the time investment, to make yourself better and to make your marriage better. And so I am, yeah.
And the food truck was good, and we was all cute and our white.
and
Yeah, the all white welcome party. Yeah, good deal. So
everything, like I said, it all came all the way back to God.
yes,
So,
because
so
he is the center.
what I'm saying, learning process, and like you said, so it all, it came together, and it was fun.
And going back to them percentages, what would we all look like if God gave us percentages?
Right. See. So Demetrius, let's talk about that. Let's talk to the men for a moment. So there's a real struggle for a lot of brothers when they're not the breadwinner. So in a word, what does in a word that is manhood. I'm sorry, Chris. I can't get this one. In a world that often ties manhood to income. So in a world that often ties manhood to income, how do you continue to show up as the man, not from pride, but from purpose? That's great.
So you have some that will uh, look at it as if they if some of them come into it and they look at it like, okay, she making more money than me, so I'm be good, but not realizing that, how am I trying to say, like, you got some that can feel like they, because they not making as much money as her, they feel weak. But what you got to understand is once you get the understanding of, you know what I'm saying, hey, I'm do my part, just, like I said, I put my 100 in it. So it's not like I'm looking at it like, oh, she making more money than me, I feel a certain way. Now I'm coming in and I'm being a man and I'm doing my part, like whatever my part need to be done. Whether, you know what I'm saying, it's making sure she good, the house good, or whatever it is, and not looking at the financial part of it. And I'm just looking at her for her and us for us.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I can see how, for some men that may be a struggle, but the blessing is knowing that you and your wife are on the same team, that
Yeah.
she is not pointing that out, but you all are doing right or holding it over your head, but you're doing what works for you and your household and your family. So, that in itself is a blessing. That's a blessing.
I never could clearly understand the she make more money than me. I mean, nobody
Mhm.
can tell anybody how to feel. Like,
Right.
I'm not saying that, but I really, when I hear different conversations and things of that sort, I really try to understand from the heart how people feel. And a lot of it, I believe it is the way they were groomed and grew up, and it's hardwired. Um, like I said, when he first moved here, he was going to job after job, going to interviews, and but what he told me was, if I don't find a job in the next few weeks, I've got to go back to Memphis because I have to work.
Mhm.
And when the opportunity for him to accept something that might not have been at the top of his list, something that he definitely wasn't gonna make a lot of money in, that joker went in there with the attitude of gratitude every day. And don't let nobody call out, because that joker was gonna work a double shift.
So
And then,
I,
like I said, a year later.
I've been working there since I was 16, and I had never worked at a fast food restaurant.
Wow.
So that me going into Crystals and working at Crystals was my first fast food restaurant. And
Wow.
I didn't even know what I don't even know what I was making. It didn't even matter.
Literally.
like for real. Like, I went in and I asked, was my application on file, and she was like, well, no, here, just fill out another. So I filled out another application, and then she was like, I had it to her. She was like, well, you got some black pants? I was like, yeah. She said, I'll see you when you get back. And
Wow.
was, working. But like you said, it wasn't about what I was making. It was about me getting something coming in, and then I knew how to, move around,
Mhm.
able to get what needs to be, whatever need to be done as far as, getting the family, what we got to do to provide for my family or whoever,
Right.
whatever. And that was basically it. Just, hey, I need something, I just need something to start. And like
Right.
other
Right.
jobs, and some of them was work today, get paid today. I went from working a week to getting 4 hours. I was like, nah, I can't do this.
Right.
So, but like I said, I had been working since I was 16. So working wasn't the problem. It was just the matter of getting employment.
Right. Right. And to me, that speaks volumes because that speaks to your level of integrity and commitment to your family. And, no matter what anyone would say, if anyone could say anything about, your finances in your marriage and your family, what they could say is that, man, that dude had some integrity and he was committed. He moved to a new place and he did what it took to do his part in taking care of his family. So, Hats off to you. Hats off to you. That's so awesome. So, what keys can you share for couples working through sickness, hardship, or imbalance, where one has to carry more of the weight than usual? How
Woo,
would
let me
you keep,
start the list.
how would you keep unity and honor alive when it's hard, when it hits hard?
Um, being honest with one another about how you, so let me start my list. On Monday, it was the 14-year anniversary of my mom transitioning. She transitioned in 2009. Um, well, going back further, renal kidney failure, being together, my mom passing away, having a father that suffers from post traumatic stress disorder, going through bankruptcy, his father passing away, um, children growing up through the years, disruptive relationships along the line with that. Um, being honest with yourself first that you're angry or you're hurt. Being honest, because I don't care what my face looks like or my body
Mhm.
communication looks like. He
Right,
still can't read my mind. He still can't read my mind. So it's my responsibility to be honest. I have to tell him how I feel and not assume they and I do assume sometimes. Sometimes I'll be like, now you know, but that ain't hold no weight because he can't read my mind like I can't read his. So being honest with how you're feeling, give yourself grace. Be honest with him how you're feeling. Give him grace because we receive grace anyway.
right, right. That's so true.
My biggest thing is being because if you're honest about how you feel, then you tend to pull away from blaming the other person for
Hmm.
it. Helps
Right.
you to be responsible for your own feelings and communicating how you feel. So,
Right.
what do you think, babe?
Um, so as a if you just couple, you got to you got to look at it that the commitment that you're giving. So you got to be like, okay, just like I said, if you want to play the field, then don't try to commit to somebody.
Right.
That's
Don't drag
easy.
nobody on, or you tell somebody this, or tell you this just so I can try to get this. Um, and then if you married, you got to honor your vows that you made to
Yeah.
God, because you said it said with his sickness and health.
Hmm.
So ups and downs, you know what I'm saying? That's everything. You enduring. So you gotta be there because you made a commitment.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna, be there, sickness and health, then you don't need to be making that commitment, you know what I'm saying, or dragging it on, or just, just because somebody else married, you want to get married just because somebody else married. Don't do
Right.
it for somebody else. Y'all do this for y'all.
Right.
Like you said,
Right.
that plays a part to where you're supposed to be able to take care of her, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be. If she's sick, you know what I'm saying, you supposed to be able to, bathe her, whatever had to be done, feed her, make sure she got this, that, and then take care of the rest of the household as well. Make sure the kids is right. You you signed up for it.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
made that commitment.
Yeah.
So that's also your job. Just like you go to your 9 to 5, you got a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Or
Hmm.
it's more than 9 to 5. You got 24/7. You know what I'm saying, job over here as well. So you got you know, so you gotta excuse me.
His allergies are
Uh-huh.
terrible.
So that's how you can weather and endure. You know what I'm saying, through those situations
Yeah.
because commitment. So you gotta honor it.
And
Yeah.
then even when things are hard, you're gonna come out on the other side.
Hmm.
So I was just kind of looking at the question earlier, and it says, what's the best part of being married to one another? All of the oppositions that we face together, because people are in marriages and they're facing oppositions individually. But the fact that, because we do get complimented a lot because we just goofy. We ain't telling what we gonna say and all of that stuff. You gonna see me out in the street with boots on the ground dancing. We through the years we have gotten lots of compliments, and people are saying, man, what's your secret ingredient? And our secret ingredient is not going to be your secret ingredient.
Right.
Oppositions, when you can make it through, that the celebration is grand.
Yes. Yeah, that heart connection and level of love, connection, and commitment and joy just to see each other's face is when the smoke clears and you realize you've been standing together through whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that you have made it to the other side of that. So it's truly a blessing. That is truly a blessing. So this has been an amazing chat. Thank you all so much for joining us. And we want to invite you, our audience, to the Lead with Love Couples Retreat, Covenant and Connection, that's happening here in Nashville, Tennessee, July 18th and 19th. You can register at leadwithloveretreat.net and enter coupon code LOVE2025 to receive a special rate. Thank you so much for joining us, you guys.
Thank you, Delnita. And tell my Aunt Vanessa happy belated birthday.
I will. So before we go, tell us how people can reach out to you, especially, those couples that may want to, or women, Denise, that want to connect with you for your life coaching services. How can they reach you?
First, if you want to read a really, really, really good book that one day will be a movie, you can go on Amazon. This is Love Roll Lifetime. This is a book that I wrote and my husband co-authored it with me. It's real from cover to cover. Might be some words in there that might make you blush, but it's real. From my experience with toxic relationships with my parents, all the way up to our roller skating wedding reception. I can be reached on social media, Facebook, Denise Edmondson Knowles, or Do Over Denise. Do Over Denise on Facebook. And then also Dr_D_Knowles on Instagram. And his social media is just simply Demetrius with an I, DEMITRIUS Knowles. And so just inbox me. Send me a comment on a post. We are not hard to find. And also, I usually do a morning ride to work conversation. So that's usually between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning. So if you want to scroll through and check out the conversations, we talk about everything, vitamin D and D from A to Z.
Awesome. Awesome. That is too good. Amazing couple, amazing conversation. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Always remember to lead with love, and we hope to see you at the retreat. Have an amazing one.
Looking forward to it.
Same here.
Good night.
Thank you. Good.
Real love, real faith, real talk. Lead with Love, the podcast where I and my husband, Champion Smith, dive into God's design for relationships. Honest conversations to help couples and singles grow in love and faith. Subscribe now and lead with love.